The God helmet is a controversial and fascinating device developed to explore the relationship between brain activity and religious or mystical experiences. Created by Canadian neuroscientist Michael Persinger and his colleague Stanley Coren in the late 20th century, the device was designed to stimulate specific areas of the brain using weak magnetic fields. Persinger claimed that this stimulation, particularly when applied to the temporal lobes, could induce altered states of consciousness, including the sensation of a presence, profound spiritual or, and even out-of-body experiences. The name, God Helmet, came from media portrayals of the device, reflecting its association with experiences that users described as religious or transcendent. The helmet itself was not a complex or high-powered piece of equipment. It was essentially a modified motorcycle helmet outfitted with magnetic coils and connected to a computer that generated low-intensity electromagnetic signals. These signals were carefully patterned to mimic the natural activity of the brain's own electrical processes. Persinger believed that certain types of brainwave stimulation could unlock latent psychological capacities, producing sensations that people throughout history had interpreted as contact with supernatural beings or divine forces. Persinger's experiments involved hundreds of volunteers who wore the helmet in a quiet, darkened room while their responses were monitored. Many participants reported a strong sense that someone or something was in the room with them, even though they were alone. Some described a benevolent presence, others sensed something ominous. A few reported visions or deep emotional insights. Persinger interpreted these results as evidence that spiritual and religious experiences could be triggered artificially by manipulating the brain's electromagnetic environment. According to Persinger, the temporal lobes of the brain are especially involved in processing emotion, memory, and self-awareness. He hypothesized that under certain conditions, such as stress, sensory deprivation, or electromagnetic stimulation, these areas could produce sensations of another intelligence or presence. He believed that throughout human history, people experiencing natural or accidental stimulation of the temporal lobes may have interpreted the resulting sensations as visitations from gods, spirits, or other metaphysical beings. The God helmet was, in his view, a tool to demonstrate that these experiences were rooted in biology rather than external realities. The response to the God helmet within the scientific community was deeply divided. Some researchers found Persinger's work intriguing and worthy of further study, especially in the context of neurotheology, the field that explores the neural basis of religious experience. Others criticized his methodology, questioned the consistency of his results, or challenged the interpretation of his findings. One of the main criticisms was the difficulty in replicating the effects in other laboratories. Some experiments conducted by independent researchers failed to produce the same intensity of experiences reported in Persinger's studies, leading to skepticism about whether the device truly worked as claimed or whether the effects were largely due to suggestion, expectation, or placebo. Nonetheless, the idea that religious or spiritual states could be neurologically induced was revolutionary in its implications. If divine experiences could be artificially generated by stimulating the brain, it raised profound questions about the origins of belief, the authenticity of mystical encounters, and the nature of consciousness itself. For some, this was an argument in favor of materialism, that all aspects of human experience, including the most sacred, are products of brain chemistry. For others, the fact that the brain is wired to experience the divine was taken as evidence that such experiences have a genuine basis, even if they are facilitated by neural mechanisms. Persinger himself did not claim that the God helmet disproved the existence of God or the supernatural. Instead, he suggested that the human brain is a natural conduit for spiritual experience, and that understanding its workings could help explain why people from all cultures and eras report similar kinds of religious and mystical events. He maintained that his research was not meant to reduce religion to a trick of the brain, but rather to explore the mechanisms through which such experiences are made possible. Outside the laboratory, the God helmet gained attention from journalists, television programs, and popular science writers. Some people who tried it reported powerful and moving encounters. Others felt nothing at all. The variability in responses only added to the mystery and controversy surrounding the device. The God helmet became a symbol for the growing interest in how neuroscience intersects with age-old questions about the divine, the soul, and the unseen dimensions of reality. Today, the legacy of the God helmet continues to influence research into altered states of consciousness. While Persinger passed away in the 20-teens, his work laid the groundwork for further studies in brain stimulation, including the use of techniques like transcranial magnetic stimulation and transcranial direct current stimulation. These methods, though more advanced and precise than the original God helmet, aim to explore similar questions: how the brain constructs reality, and what happens when its usual patterns are disrupted.